The Lord says to remind you today that if you are someone who has been praying in all forms, you have done everything that you possibly know to do. And you feel that God has not responded to any prayer that you make, or maybe you feel that God is ignoring you, or maybe you feel that maybe God is not hearing your prayers. This is a reminder. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you have to come before the Lord with Hannah's prayer. The Bible tells us about Hannah's prayer, and the Bible tells us that Hannah was sobbing and she was crying, but still the Lord was not hearing her sob and her cry. The moment Hannah started to make a vow with the Lord, she started to get into a deal with the Lord and say, because I've exhausted all the ways and the Lord has not been hearing me, what I'm going to do right now is to try to make a deal with the Lord. Let me make a vow and tell the Lord that I will dedicate this child that he will give to me, to him, for his service in the temple. I will dedicate Samuel to the temple. I will dedicate him. He will live here and I will not cut his hair. So this is when the Lord started to hear Hannah. You see that God did not hear all the time that Hannah was crying. It's not, you can see that this woman was exhausted. If you come across somebody who looks like they're drunk, the Bible tells us that Eli thought that Hannah was drunk, and she was not drunk. She was exhausted. Have you been in a place where you start to even cry in public because you are very tired? And that was the case with Hannah. She was tired. She is exhausted all the ways. And all the circumstances were still dealing with her right on her face until she decided to make a deal with the Lord, until she decided to make a vow with the Lord and say, God, this will be for your glory. So this is what maybe the Lord is waiting for you to do, to say, God, I have been praying for this thing and you have not been answering me. So let me make a deal with you. I promise that if you give me this thing, this is what I promise to do in return of what you give to me. I will give this to your glory. This will be to your glory. I will give this to the service of the Lord. So this is not only for me, but it is also for the Lord. You will be provoking the reaction of God in your prayer, because now you're starting to make sense to God. And let me tell you the reason why maybe God is not giving you that thing. Maybe God knows that you are going to destroy yourself in the process. Maybe God knows that you are not able to handle that thing, the height of it, the gravity of it. And just because others have it is because those people are able to handle it. But God knows us. And he knows you as well. And maybe when he looks at you, he knows this will be your destruction. This will be the end of you. So if you give to him and say, this will be to your glory, God will know that when you give it to his glory, it is not going to hurt you, it is not going to harm you, but it's actually going to build you, and it will be for the glory of the Lord. So this is the prayer that you have to start making today. So I hope this word finds you well. If this is you, that you have been praying, the Lord is saying that, why don't you try to make a deal with the Lord and see if God gives you that thing? Thank you.